Robin, quite an adventure you had there in Zimbabwe, but let's begin by just outlining the purpose of the trip. What were you going there for?
Well, we were there to tell the stories of ordinary Zimbabweans. You know, over the years, many people criticize us for just talking to the politicians, and so I decided no interviews with politicians. I was going there to talk to ordinary people, to film on the streets, to do all the things we haven't been allowed to do in recent years. Now, that's the point, is that there was a sense from the Zimbabwean government that we were welcome, that we'd be free to do what we wanted to do, to talk to who we wanted to do, and to film where we wanted to film. That didn't prove to be true.
It wasn't just a sense. I mean, you had permission.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had written permission, and, you know, I'm not one of these people who likes to get permission. None of us do. I mean, we all, you know, if you're a journalist, you do have a sort of, like I said, a healthy disrespect for authority. That said, we did get press accreditation because I wanted to present Marketplace Africa or Inside Africa from the streets of Harare. I didn't want to go skulking around doing stand-ups in front of hedges in guest houses, as some people have been doing over the years. I mean, this needed to be a story and programs about life in Zimbabwe. So that's why I got accreditation, which is why it's so interesting that even with the accreditation, as well as a number of sort of welcome letters from quite powerful people, we still got harassed, intimidated, detained by police.
And that just seems to be a disconnect between those powerful people who gave you permission, written and otherwise, and those on the street who what, they chose to ignore that?
Absolutely. It was like they hadn't received the memo. You know, I think what was quite startling about Zimbabwe is that it's a very contrasted nation. There's a lot of disconnects. You sometimes battle to understand when you're there the reality, and then there's another reality. So on one hand, there is the perception that Zimbabwe is in this unity government. Things are changing, and they have on many levels. But when it boils down to it, Zimbabwe is still a police state.
And so when it happened to you guys, what were their reasons for harassing you?
No reasons. Absolutely nothing. And I think that's the point. We were filming a link for Marketplace Africa on the streets in central Harare. We were informed by Central Intelligence agents, the secret police, who had basically called the actual police to come and sort of deal with us. We, as a matter of sort of politeness, went with them to try and explain to them that we'd been given permission. It turned ugly pretty quickly. There was some footage of us filmed on a BlackBerry where we're inside a small satellite police station. I'm yelling, I'm very angry. I'm telling them that they have to let us go. Two policemen absolutely stopped me from leaving that police station. That took about 30 minutes before I managed to bully my way out. After that, it was at least another hour of them ignoring all, you know, paperwork we had on us, ignoring all common sense, and basically threatening us because they could.
Let's listen.
I think you need to let us leave right now. But you let us off. You're instructing me.
And you don't threaten me by handing out. I am not going anywhere with you.
I can put you in these cuffs if you am I threatening you?
Are you threatening me with handcuffs?
How?
Are you threatening me
By
with
touching my
handcuffs?
cuffs like this, I'm threatening you.
You're saying you're going to use force on me. I am not leaving this place. I am not going to any police station with you.
Made a mistake. It's fine. That's been made. It's fine. Just leave it. Just let us get on our way. We'll
Sorry,
leave.
say that
These
again?
people will disperse, and that will be the end of it.
So I must go with you.
Why
are you so rude? He's taking my passport.
Are you so rude?
No, we're not going. We're not going. We're not going. We need to call somebody to come and help us here, man.
What's going through your mind at this time, you and Chev? I mean, you're in the middle of all of this. You're a mother of two, and what are you thinking? I'm off to jail?
You know what? I was so angry. I was so cross, and I think that comes across in the video. I kept on challenging them because I think when it boils down to it, I knew I had a right to be there, and I knew that I also had the backing of some very powerful people. So in the end, these guys were going to have to back down. It was just how and when, and hopefully things wouldn't get too nasty. My concern was I didn't have my phone on me because I was worried about being pickpocketed. And I just wanted to get to my phone because I knew that if I made a phone call to one of these cabinet ministers, that he would be able to sort of unleash the dogs, so to speak. So it took me a good hour and a half before I managed to actually get and bully my way and trying to sort of get to our car, where a lot of this then played out on the street while I got my phone and made a few phone calls and then started working the higher levels of power in Zimbabwe. But I went in there knowing that I had these cell phone numbers. I went in there knowing that I had that exit strategy. I wouldn't have gone in blindly without that backup. I mean, it would have been silly to do so.